My name is Rama Kannan, and I'm an executive coach and leadership coach, and a mentor. So I coach senior executives, CXOs, CEOs, and founders in both corporates and the social sector. And yeah, that's and I that's what I've been doing for about maybe 10 years. But prior to that, I have a lot of corporate experience. So I was in strategy and marketing. I have an MBA, and I worked in India and in Asia Pacific um, for a long time with the global multinationals like Pepsi and British Petroleum. And I've been mentoring and coaching now for maybe 11, 12 years. So I enjoy what I do. I feel really, really fortunate that I'm able to do something that I thoroughly enjoy. So I also I'm keen on social entrepreneurship. So I also co-teach social entrepreneurship in India, and have done a program for the UN earlier. I'm also on the board of an impact fund. We invest in social businesses, and also on the board of an Indian listed company called Tasty Bite. Um, yeah, I used to mentor Afghan civil servants for 10 years, and that kind of led me to train to be a coach in some way. So, because I was coaching anyway, but this was something which I thought it would be great to get the training and do it. I realized that I had seen some other people who had coached, and and it was so effortless, and they didn't even, it wasn't, it just felt like, oh my God, this is something that I thoroughly enjoy. And I wanted something that I love doing. How can I train myself to be a natural at it, and own it and feel happy about doing it? So I think in some sense, I mean, I think also ICF is the nodal arm of in the world for coaching. And in that, a mastery, MCC, is somebody who's less than 5% in the whole world. And if I wanted to be at that kind of level, which is what I love doing, I I felt I wanted to get there. So I think both these were as important. And I was anyway having global clients, and getting a MCC from ICF I knew would make a big difference. Honestly, I think Coacharya is the one who's known around for the training. I mean, anybody that you speak to knows of Coacharya. They've had so many people who've come out of it. I had spoken to people. I'd met Ram earlier, and I knew his context and background, and why he was interested in coaching, and what his purpose he felt was to train and grow this group of people. Why I knew he felt connected to coaching by itself as well. And I'd also met, I think coincidentally, 3, 4 people in a space of a month or so, who talked about doing the program with Cindy and Ram, who had even gone through PCC, and they just raved about both Cindy and Ram, and how it was to be engaged with Cindy, and what a difference, how much what she can pick up, and how Ram can be an extremely um, somebody with a strong opinions, who actually sees through, can sift what is important, can actually see that difference. um, I, I think it was a natural, I just knew this is where I'm joining, so I'm so glad I did. So that's what made me choose. I don't think I even checked other people out. So so I was very clear, this is where I was going to be. Yeah. It has been amazing. It was a fully virtual program. And I had not, my initial training was face to face, my first coach training, and I was a little unsure, how is this online program going to be. But honestly, it made zero difference. And now all of us realize that everybody works from home. All of us are on Zoom. Everybody is, and that it can work really well. And I had been coaching anyway, on Zoom or Skype even earlier. But the fact that I could get somebody amazing like Cindy sitting here was only possible because it could be done virtually online. That we had people from around the world, from different parts of India as well, and great cohort. I mean, I think and as in anything that you're training, you learn a lot with the cohort as well. And we had an amazing, I mean, people who are really senior in their corporate sector, or people who had done amazing programs and what they were doing outside as well. I, it and Cindy, I mean, I don't have words enough to talk about how much of a personal interest she takes in, and how much, really, I mean, I've had calls with her at I think 4:30 her time. When I was submitting, I was doing my recordings, and I had sent it, and she'd be okay to do that. I mean, I don't think there would be anybody who would be wanting to do. She would be very happy to. And she just would pick up on those exact things, and you notice, oh my God, this is true. And it just feels so natural when you start listening and using it. So it commitment. And Ram also has been a mentor, who has been, he's been a mentor for me also from Coacharya, and he's also sat in on all the training programs. So he's great at picking up at some of the points, which I don't know how they work it. Ram picks up sometimes points which Cindy may not have. And he can ask these really incisive questions, which makes you think hard and reflect on who you are, and what you are as a person. And he's just so interested in so many different things, that all of that comes through, and you learn very many different things, about philosophy, about life, about whole load of things. I honestly don't know what other training programs do with their mentoring. I think maybe some of them don't do the kind of one-on-ones that are provided. Um, but I've had both Cindy and Ram, um, give me mentoring, one-on-one mentoring, also offered every time. And it was I was free to just text or call either of them, and to say I have these questions, or where I'm or share the recordings. And all my recordings were seen by, if it was shortlisted, both of them saw it, and read through and made comments on, where perhaps it would be, if I needed to modify something. I think they both take a personal interest, and they have so much of, literally they invest in the person to get that. I don't think anybody who has gone through Coacharya for an MCC program and has not got it. I mean, I know that, both of them, even if somebody hasn't cleared in the first attempt, and that's amazing. It doesn't happen in any other program, from what I understand globally. And with most people who go through Coacharya for the mastery program, I think in their first attempt they get the MCC. So which has been phenomenal. And even if they hadn't, and there have been very few who haven't, I think, I mean, both Cindy and Ram invest enough time to ensure that the next time, I mean, the recordings are heard, rechecked, you know, go back with them again and again to ensure that they are prepared, and they have really grown to be the MCC that is needed. So uh, I think the mentoring has been phenomenal, honestly. Coaching is in some way become like a second nature. When I'm with my client, I don't think I would have an iota of self doubt, even if if the most senior executive, if it is Mukesh Ambani, or if it is Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or anybody wants coaching and I'm there and I'm asked, I honestly don't think I would hesitate. I'd be happy to start. And that confidence has definitely come through by seeing the way Cindy and Ram and learning and knowing that coaching is all about giving the space to the client, and that belief in the coachee, in the client, in the unconditional positive regard that you're giving. It's not about the questions, it's not about any of those sort, but it is just that for them to know that you believe in them and you're having them think outside of those boxes that they are doing. Um, so knowing that crux of coaching, it honestly is like having a conversation with your best friend. It just feels as natural. It's just that you're not with a best friend. Maybe, I mean, it can happen with some, and it has happened for me. You're not always talking about with the goal in mind. You're not always looking to see, are you ensuring that they are committing to what they are saying, that you're measuring what exactly do they want. Um, but that's what I've realized a coaching conversation needs to be, that the client needs to feel as comfortable as they are talking, and to be nudging them and to be asking them those questions which they know the answers to, just getting to that. And in some ways, I think it's also influenced the way I am as a person. I've one of my strong points has always been listening. I am a good listener. I always love having conversations. I think this has just honed it another level, and it has also, I've also been learned that I don't need to be prescriptive with people. Even in the other conversations, I am using the coaching journey that I have been on to I I think I'm just growing as a person. I mean, of course, there is a long way to go, but I know that in all my conversations, I am trying to create that space so that I can have the other person um, grow and be the best that they can be. So that's what my goal would be, and I think that's what the coaching mastery has done for me, honestly. So anyone who's in a senior leadership position, who not only, I think it's great if they want it as a second career later, because they it's easier for them to actually be taken on very seriously by people. But also any senior leader who, I mean, or anybody who wants to grow to be a senior leader, knowing that no millennial, no younger person actually wants to be told what to do. You want your whole, organization to have a coaching culture. And in that sense, if you are trained in one, and if you're trained in the way that it's second nature to you, you can just impart that culture within your organization. I mean, I also do both group coaching and team coaching, group coaching in some organizations to develop a coaching culture for the entire organization. Also do team coaching, which I believe strongly in. And though if those team leaders or group leaders are also thinking about coaching for their organizations, for them to be on the journey, I think they'll find it really rewarding, and it will benefit the whole organization hugely. And of course, I mean, that's the second part of it. But the first part, I would say, are people who are really serious about and who feel this is where they get their purpose in some way. Yeah, it just feels a very cliched term to say that, but it's just something. Every conversation I have with a client, I come back really happy. So I just feel very, very fulfilled. So I mean, anybody who feels like that, I think for sure should be, yeah, going in for the mastery journey. Yeah, just very different from what it was when I first started. Um, I'm trying to put myself in the position of somebody who's thinking of starting, and is on the verge of, but is not yet sure. One thing they could be thinking of is perhaps it's investment money into it. I mean, they may think of it as an expense. I would urge them to look at it as an investment, both in terms of that getting an MCC means that you are in the whole world, you are less than 5% of the whole coaching coaches in the entire world. That immediately gives you that credibility, when to talk. And I think in that sense, that is, it's a no-brainer to be sitting in, because, and of course, I mean, your what you can command over um, as from corporates or otherwise to charge, they are far more willing to pay when you are an MCC. And it's also, it's easier for you to understand and for them to, as well, as to what is the return on investment they're making, what is the value they are getting out of it, and what, and as it's only a small part of it that you're going to be charging, but it still can be much higher than what it is when you're not an MCC. The second, honestly, I mean, if you're already a coach, just for you to make it second nature, for it to be something which can flow naturally, to own it, I mean, to be really, say, I mean, when I first started training to be a coach, my first was that when I want to introduce myself, I should be able to say I'm a coach without feeling that, um, am I putting myself out? Am I ready to be? But I think the mastery journey, in a lot of ways, has made me far more. In fact, confidence is not the word. I just feel it's natural for me, and I just feel I can own it, and I feel really authentic about it. To say that I'm an executive coach or I'm a coach, and I engage with really senior leaders and in helping them achieve their goals, to articulate and achieve their goals. Uh, and that comes in, I think, with the MCC training, because it just makes your conversation that much more natural. So just to hone yourself. So I just go for it. I don't think there is a just go for it. Yeah.